Alright. Keep in mind, most of the series from right now, I am hoping to do under recording, not as broadcasts. But when I do plan on trying to do it for some time, or I am all by myself in the house, I do plan on doing it that way. I don't really have any other way. I don't have a way to announce it, etc. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really have a way to announce a stream if I am going to do them for this. But keep in mind, when I am doing Call of Duty World War II, I am definitely probably going to do streams. Um, Now, normally, I would just quickly cut towards the fucking gameplay off the bat when I'm recording and get to the good parts. Um, and another thing to mention, because this is something I had on my mind, the first one I am going to have upload. I'm going to leave that. But the rest will be deleted because they are failed runs. So, note to self. Also, Call of Duty World War II finally just got downloaded at the current moment. But, again, most of the previous runs will be deleted, such as Part 2 and what will be Part 3 currently recently being uploaded. So once the complete run of the no failure run is uploaded, then keep in mind, when it is uploaded, I may give it an extra day for everything else to be uploaded. But all of them will be deleted within a week. So basically, I'm going to rename all of them to be deleted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6. But this run is not going to be deleted either, such as the first one, because this is where I am literally mentioning off the main things that will be changed in this. So, but keep in mind, the veteran run will be eventually out once I complete this. I've already had a setback because of the third one, and it was a pretty aggravating setback, I must admit. But keep in mind, these are often incredibly frustrating, I must add. On second thought, I might not actually upload gameplay with this. But it can be, to say the least, aggravating when doing this for a few obvious reasons. Because I will spend upwards to maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour, not as much as other people. I must give it to speedrunners and other people who do very hard, difficult challenges in video games, because this in itself gets aggravating, it gets tiring, it gets repetitive very quickly, I must add. Because SSD, I've done 50 times, I've gotten everything basically in there. So, I must say, it can be a very aggravating and tiring run. Call of Duty World War II, I don't think I'm going to do it as many videos on that compared to this, purely because of just how much I am doing this, if that makes any sense. So, for example, in Call of Duty, well, in World War II, that is, I'm going to refer to it as MW and WW, okay? But in World War II, that is a lot harder to get some of the achievements, all of them. This, I do plan on getting all of them regardless. The reason World War II is actually harder to get the achievements, there's one achievement that requires you to play through the entire game without taking any damage. I personally already sat through this shit, and not failing even on recruit can be fucking irritating, I must admit. So for Call of Duty World War II, for the way it's set up when it comes to gameplay wise, I can do it on veteran, yeah. It is very hard, sometimes it even feels impossible, I must admit. But compared to that, not taking a sliver or any damage ever, that feels impossible. Even seems impossible. It might not be impossible, but to me, it sure shit fucking is. So, I'm going to do this within a few runs, hopefully. Not a few runs, but all the failed runs that even I might upload, keep in mind they are clipped ones, even if they are failed, they will be uploaded. But I will either tag them as failed run, hopefully, and if they are to be as such, they will be a part of the. I will make an entirely different playlist to be deleted. So, note to self, as a person who usually when either I see something that I did that was incredibly stupid, fucking arrogant, or something as such, I usually will delete. My reputation is not on the line given there's really not many people to see it. And usually when you will see it, you are seeing the true side of me regardless. Now, take it as such as I want to get rid of the shit that's on my channel, the absolute shitty shit, if that makes any sense. I want to keep the good stuff, but keep in mind there is a reason that the previous stuff was there. So, the original 2 runs of Call of Duty World War II will probably be deleted. Well, actually, the primary run. The original one that I first did, that one was shitty, but it is history of the channel, unfortunately. So it is not to be deleted. Basically, anything that I'm going to coin as the chat or the party error of PlayStation will not be deleted. But anything after may be. There is one simple reason to this. I have a certain kind of code to our original group. Although the group is not together as much, and we even probably lost a few members to the 95th chat, that is, keep in mind. But during that era, it was our true group's prime. People could join the party whenever, doesn't matter, and etc. Now you have to have a group chat up. People have to decide upon which party they're going to be in, which was the case. Back then, you could easily switch between without too many issues. Now, you have to, if you want to be with all your friends, you have to make an entirely giant-ass 100-man chat party, which can just feel insulting because that is your friends, not everybody's friends in there, if that makes any sense. So, because of that, that error allowed for a lot of things. It allowed for you to make new friends from other people's friends. This error does not, unfortunately. That's actually how I got in touch with a few of my own friends that I play with a lot today. Bloody is unfortunately not one of those kinds of friends, but ironically, I feel like he was kind of from that kind of thing. Not most of you actually truly know actually how I met Bloody. Um, I'm already thinking of a title for this. But not many people truly know actually how I met Bloody. It's kind of ironic. How I originally met Bloody is when I made what was the original beginning of the 95th, what was the Hellhounds. I was off the backbones of my original group from all the way back on PS3 on Battlefield 4, which was a long time ago. Well, fuck, that failed to upload. That's fine. But back then I was not in exactly a dark place, but I was not in the, well, kindest of states, I guess you could say. I was very, usually quick to anger, quick to yell, which can still be the case to this day, but it's not as bad. At least I don't think it is. I could be wrong, given anybody who tells a story always has some sort of bias regardless. But again, so when I originally met him, he joined the Hellhounds, which was the, I guess, platoon that I had set up on there to get the Hellhounds truly started. And I played with him not so often, but we played together. He was a camper, to say the least, but during that time, I kind of grew onto Bloody. I played maybe 20, 30, not 30, like 20 or 25 matches or so maybe with him, maybe even 15. And then we had this really long talk that was Vietnam, of all things. And that's kind of where our friendship truly started. So from that, um, keep in mind, I had a few other friends, which, keep in mind, this was during the party era, as I'm going to coin it as, where I had a lot of other friends I would talk to, but now I don't really talk to them anymore. Not only because they're just people I don't feel too comfortable around in the first place, at least not now. Back then, it was, I could do it, but not anymore. But during that time, people like Black Swan, all of them, we would occasionally talk together. We'd even get bloody to talk with them occasionally. But then, over time, people like Pilot started to show up, and we got the entire group fully together. Eventually, Mexican joined the 90 or the Hellhounds, or the 95th. I think it was. I could be wrong. He actually might have came from Q or Pilot. Q, I think I met in a match of Battlefield 5. But I think it was a few other people. I think it was Pilot, mainly. No, it was actually one of Pilot's friends that I actually truly met Pilot, and it was also through Zero. I'm not going to get into Zero. I don't really like talking about him too much. He's kind of not exactly the best person to talk about, given my age and what he talks about a lot. But take it as he is a Marine, but he talks a lot of perverted shit, I must say. But keep in mind, during this time I was like 12 or even, I think, 11 um, at that time, but now I'm 14. But how I met Pilot was through one of his friends. I think it started with an H. I can't fully remember. But then I met Pilot sometime through him, and we talked together. I decided to add him as a friend, and we played together occasionally, but not as often as till we had Mexican. Once we had Mexican, it was very fun. We had a lot of fun together. But unfortunately, because my PlayStation Plus was gone and all that, I couldn't really play during the Pacific War time. I could play for about 1 week, but after that, I was like an entire 1 or 2 months behind of being able to play PlayStation Plus, which means I couldn't play PlayStation or PS, not PlayStation. Couldn't play any games like Battlefield 5 that required PlayStation Plus. So basically, I was this 2 month period away from Battlefield 5, which normally I could always get most of the shit that was in the Tides of War, but this one I could not, and I was very upset because there was a lot of good shit, a lot of amazing stuff I really wanted in there. But this didn't really stop me. It did kind of hinder our friends group because I was away from playing with them for 2 months. My skill level kind of went down, and a lot of the friends group, because of the 5.0 and or 5.2 and 5.2.2, because of this, a lot of us kind of split up from Battlefield 5, which was very unfortunate. Um, and don't be wrong, still, we will occasionally play Battlefield 5, but I think it's more of not that we don't want to play together. I think it honestly comes down to a stemming of the group has been away from each other for so long. Not only that, then Battlefield 5 has changed so much since 5.2 and 5.2.2 to the point where a lot of the guns don't feel recognizable, such as one of our king favorites that a lot of us were getting, like a lot of the group was getting into, was the M1907 SF, which right now, currently, Mexican is the only member left to actually touch the M1907 SF. Truly, that is. The rest of us never really touched it again because they turned it into an SMG and a piece of shit. Because it was this very universal, very high skill level based assault rifle that had 20 rounds, that didn't seem so special. It had decent damage. It could do very good for long range if you could hit your shots. It was a good medium, long, and short range, and you could attach a bayonet, which made it even fucking better. At the certain mid ground between short and long, where, well, automatic and semi-automatic don't really intertwine, so you could bayonet charge if you had to. Which I know bayonet charging is frowned upon, but honestly, if you know how to use it right, it's very good to use. But because of this, just, yeah. Then not only that, I think when all of us heard, because not all of us heard at the same time, we weren't all together at the same time, but when um, I think it was during what would be the last update of the game, this was the moment that signified a unfortunate change. We knew that there really wasn't any more content to be added. Well, there was one more update, but after that, there was nothing left. Um, we just we occasionally played together. The remnants that played Battlefield 5 was occasionally Q, Pilot, and me. We were truly what's left of what was playing Battlefield 5. Now, why was Mexican and Bloody not in here? So, Mexican, during my time I was gone for 2 months, he was a bit separated because I was the main glue to him and the group, it seemed. I could be wrong there, actually, but that's what it seemed. And because of this, don't get me wrong, I joined in the parties as much as I could, but there's not much I could do, that is. So this kind of made a divide, and at one point in time, keep in mind, we didn't really truly... We made jokes about Mexican, but keep in mind, they weren't to a bullying degree. We would call him Mexican or Mexican and all that, but it was more of a friendly, joking manner between friends, giving each other nicknames and maybe small nickname insults even. But that's about it. We were never of that, but that could have made a little bit of a change in him because he could have seen us as bad people, even though we were making an occasional joke. But that could have been a slight change for him, but I doubt it because he accepted it for over 4 or 5 months of the group, so I don't feel like that's what really got him to change. I think it was more of the factor he was looking into different games. He may have found some new friends, but currently the entire reason we have a hard time playing with him, which during this last time, I think it was a few days before the update we actually got to play with him or something like that. But this was the last true change. So throughout that time, we didn't really have we didn't play with him much. Now again, Bloody, he was in Crew 2 around this time, during the time of 5.2 and 5.2.2. This was the moment he immediately got off the game after 5.2 because they touched the M1907F and completely rebalanced it into a shitty-ass SMG. So because of this, this was a gun that Bloody was really getting to love. He was really getting adjusted to. Immediately was thrown out the window. There was no reason to use it. There was no reason to touch it. And all this time he'd put into it and giving it a try kind of went down the drain, and same goes for a lot of his other favorite guns. And then Mexican, on the other hand, this was very similar for him, but I think more also he could have gotten sick and tired of the Type 2As, the STGs, and all of those others such. But yeah. And keep in mind, this isn't me just telling a story straight up. It is, but the ironic truth is so past the first part, I guess you could say, a little bit before the true first parts, I think it was technically the first 3 or so months, again, around the time that I had that true bond with Bloody. Maybe I think it was a month after, that's when I started streaming. So that's actually, if you go to my original first videos, like my true first videos, this is about the time that you can actually see the group truly, the true of the group. Um, so this isn't me just telling you something that you won't be able to see. You can actually see it. But over time, we started streaming less. Hell, even Mexican streamed with us. Keep in mind, occasionally we'd even play Battlefield 4. And keep in mind, Mexican, I think he did Twitch streams, which I didn't really tag him in. Unfortunately, I really should have, or tried to figure out a way to. But you might be able to find Mexican Sauce or something as such on Twitch. I know he did it on Twitch. I tend to do it on YouTube. Mexican, if you want to find him, he's on Twitch. I think it's going to be Mexican Sauce, maybe something else in there, but that would be his name. Keep in mind, I don't really upload to Twitch due to all the bullshit within it and all the hot tub streams, but that's about it. thinking of how to title this, given that this is a recording, but yeah.